एक्चुअली आप जब देखेंगे कि 9th November 2022, 9th November 2022, there was the one earthquake. If you see this, the map, you can see this 9th November 2022, 6.3 मैग्नीट्यूड का अर्थक्वेक हुआ था. ये देख रही हैं. इसके बाद से आप इधर में जाइए तो फिर जनवरी 2023 में 5.8 मैग्नीट्यूड का हुआ दिस अर्थक्वेक. अगेन ये नवंबर के जिस अब साउथ ऑफ द ईस्ट में 6.2 अर्थक्वेक 3 अक्टूबर 2023. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि ये जितने आप लाइन देख रही हैं तो हिमालय का जो भी नेपाल हिमालय है कंसिस्ट ऑफ डिफरेंट सेस्मोटेक्टोनिक सेटिंग्स. इसमें बहुत से फॉल्ट्स होते हैं, डिफरेंट फॉल्ट्स जो कि सेस्मोजेनिक फॉल्ट होते हैं. जो फॉल्ट जब होता है, फॉल्ट क्या है, 2 ब्लॉक का डिस्प्लेसमेंट है, मीन्स इट इज द डायनेमिक ऑब्जेक्ट. Sometimes fault started to be quiescent, sometimes fault started to be dynamic. तो अभी जो नेपाल अर्थक्वेक का जो आपने देखा होगा, ये जो सबसे बड़ा अर्थक्वेक हुआ था 7.9 मैग्नीट्यूड का 25 अप्रैल 2015, ये इसका लोकेशन था, एपी सेंटर था. और कल जो अर्थक्वेक हुआ 23:32 में रात में, वो ये अर्थक्वेक जो है ये नवंबर वाला जो अर्थक्वेक है 2022, द अर्थक्वेक ऑफ 2022, just it was the eastern side of this November earthquake, but it was all propagated. If you come here, then you can see the 7.9 earthquake aftershocks occurred 7.3, biggest aftershock, fourth aftershock. So it was occurred in between the November earthquake as well as it's the aftershock of the 7.9 earthquake 25th April 2015. Why it is happening? Because when the one earthquake occurs, it releases the strain energy. That strain energy accumulates somewhere, and it keep on accumulating and keep on increasing. So once is the shearing strength or bearing strength of the rock material exceeded, then that zone rock ruptures, means breaks, and then earthquake happen. So several types of the earthquakes, 5.8, 6.2, 6.3, again 6.4 occurred in this zone. So huge amount of the strain energy has already been released. Okay, has already been released. But if you come to the rupture propagation, this is the rupture propagation directions. It was along the rupture propagation, means 7.9 magnitude earthquake on 25th April 2015, and again its aftershock is the 12th May 2015, 7.3 magnitude this. If you draw a line, then this line was in a straight line. Okay? So this is along the strike of the Himalayan fault zone. Okay, so there is called a MCT, main central thrust. It is called MBT, main boundary thrust. It is called HFT, main frontal thrust. Here different thrusts. So this is the coming out from there. This is the older, okay, and this is younger than the MCT, and this is the youngest than the MCT and younger than the MBT. So the strain energy is different. That's why it is the releasing. So release of the energy is good sign, because 6.4 magnitude earthquake releases energy too much. That means this zone is started not going to accumulate so much energy for bigger earthquake of more than 7 or more than that. Okay, so it was actually the indication that these all seismogenic faults are now activated.
Okay. That you said that this is not the first time that kind of earthquake happen in Nepal, but why always epicenter is Nepal, sir?
Because Nepal is very complicated. You see, it was whenever here you can see there is a central seismic gap zone they are telling. Okay, means there are no big earthquake in the Kangra earthquake as well as in the 1934 Bihar earthquake. This is called a gap zone. But this zone has a lot of the potential of generating energy, because not the earthquakes of the bigger magnitude occurred any time. So they are telling it is seismic gap zone for impede the big earthquake. But we did not tell like that. We tell that gap zone has not a big earthquake happen. But now there is no chances of the biggest earthquake if there is the zone is ruptured 6.4 and 7.9 and 7.3. But in between there is a chances of the magnitude in between 6.4 and 7.3. Like when this yesterday earthquake and the aftershocks of the earthquake, there is a chances of the occurrences of the earthquake of the magnitude lesser than that. So maybe 6.2, maybe 6.1, maybe 6.4, 6.3 in these gap zones. Because I told you that when the stress energy released is accumulated somewhere. So the part which is spared the part which is spared, the part which is spared is liable to rupture again. And why it is so? Because it is so because it is the so much faults complication. You can see MCT is now going to have a lot of the MCT has changes of its ramp, its all positions is changing. There is a lot of the culminations called in the geological age. There is a culminations or there is a buckling of the fault. So these all faults are itself a very stressed. So a stressed fault is going to break. So this was the occurred in the MCT. That's why it is the broken in this part.
ओके एंड सर हमने ये भी रियलाइज किया कि न केवल नेपाल में बल्कि यहाँ दिल्ली तक महसूस हुआ ऐसा क्यों यूपी बिहार में भी कौन कौन से राज्यों में आपने रिकॉर्ड किया
आप यदि इसको देखेंगी तो आपको मैं अभी सेक मैप दिखाऊंगा ये हिमालय हैज ऑलरेडी कनेक्टेड टू द डिफरेंट फॉल्ट जोन टू द दिल्ली like so many Haridwar ridges are there. There is a lot of the Muzaffarabad faults are there. There are so many lineaments which is connected to the Nepal, and Nepal is the nearest in 300 to 400 kilometers. So whenever the shaking takes place, it tries to propagate in the directions of the propagations, and also where there is a weaker zone, it has started to propagate. Okay, so in Delhi we feel the intensity of the magnitude of intensity scale of 4 to 5 in between. 4 to 5 intensity. Original intensity was more about 6 intensity was there in the Nepal. But when Delhi come, we got the about in between 4 and 5. So that's why it was the strong shaking we felt. Why we felt? Because the Gangetic alluvial materials as the amplified when the shaking take place. As a result, when amplification taking place, the person who are staying in the taller building, in the high-rise building, in the highest floor, they felt more than the ground floor people. Okay, so it was very nearer and it was very much connected to the Nepal Himalaya or any of the Himalayan part of Delhi. It is very nearer to that. So you can see the shaking can be felt there, and many parts shaking is not only that. In Uttar Pradesh, we have felt the shaking. In the many places they have already got the shaking. So if you wanted to see this. Then I can show you here. This is actually the shaking map. Okay, this is your shaking map. So this is the actually epicenter in the Nepal. This was the like eye. Okay, so here the intensity, you can see the color bar. The intensity was more than about this the 6 to 7. Okay, this was actually yellow is in the side, but at the center it was the 7 intensity, very strong intensity at Nepal. But when you come to Delhi here, Delhi is in this side. Okay, so you come to Delhi, then you see it was the reduced. Okay. It come to Delhi, it was the reduced, and it was in between there. Here is somewhere Delhi, okay. So here is the Delhi. So it was in between 3 and 4 and 5 in between. There was this and this color, surf blue color, okay. So that's why because of this 4 and 5 intensity is about perceptible intensity. So intensity is the degree of shaking, but magnitude 6.4 is the content of energy. Okay, so that's why more energy 6.4 generated, and then we felt the shaking also. So Delhi, already you can see the many places it was gone to many, even it was going to the different part of the Bhutan also. Bhutan people also felt the shaking. Okay, so in Indian part, you can come here in the Lucknow, they got the shaking. Okay, so many places Prayagraj has got the shaking. Okay, so they got the, even the shaking was feeble shaking will go away from further air, but most of the part of the Himalaya, in the entire this Himalaya from Bhutan to Himachal Pradesh, they got the shaking. Okay. Actually, earthquake does not kill the people. It is the structure that kills the people. So you can see 6.4 earthquake occur in Sonitpur in 2021 in Assam. There was nobody died. Okay, because that building it's withstand because of the earthquake shaking on that day. But here magnitude is 6.4, but structures there in that they did not cope up. Okay, the structure did not cope up and it was the night. Most people had slept also because it was the about 12 night, midnight. So it was, you can imagine that the 23, 32, 40, 54 seconds, it was more nearing the 12 o'clock. So most people slept in the Himalaya, okay, Himalayan region. So this causes that in the sleeping, if such type of shaking happens and the weaker building damage, nobody get the any signal to come out from that. So most disastrous occurrences of the earthquake is the midnight. If it was happening in the day, maybe nobody can die because everybody is out of the house. Okay, so this was vulnerability is because of the time. Vulnerability of this this earthquake in that surrounding region is because of the time. It is midnight nearing, and then it occurs all of the sudden sunset, and also the vulnerability of the building in which the people died. So that was actually proper cause. Okay, so we don't worry, but we have to have very much cautious that our structures must not be damaged due to the earthquake, and we are living there in the vicinity of the Himalaya or the vicinity of even the Yamuna, because you can see the shaking in Yamuna near the Yamuna river is more because it was the the alluvial materials, so that got the amplified. So now time has come that we have to have an earthquake risk resilient structure. What the Ministry of Earth Sciences, our National Center for Seismology is the nodal agency. We are doing seismic microresonace study to generate the parameter for earthquake risk resilient structures and infrastructures. So the Himalaya, particularly in the Nepal Himalaya, you are seeing from 2015 till today the activity is taking place. Some is the very strong, some is the moderate, some is the micro. But micro occurrences is good, okay. It was the minimizing not to occur the chances of the big earthquake. 6.3, 6.2, 6.4 has happened in the within 1 year in that zone. You can see the West Nepal and as well now eastern part of the Nepal, northeastern part of the Nepal. So I think the signal is that the state is releasing. Okay.